Hey guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoilery gush for Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. As I mentioned, this video will have spoilers in it, so if you have not read this book, go ahead and check out my spoiler-free review, which is linked on the screen. So there are just a few key points that I want to talk about in this. I'm not gonna wrap up every single thing that happened in this book, but I primarily wanted to do a gush about this for one point that I found so satisfying, and that is the whole Jasnah dying thing. So at the very beginning, Jasnah dies on the ship, but it's very, very obvious that it's like her body's missing. Like her body was right there and now it's gone. I'm like, that girl is not dead. But I was for sure, because it wasn't really mentioned again, and it was like her mother's grieving and all this stuff, and we're having these letters about like I was a different person because Jasnah had died and whatever. And I was like, okay, I guess we're gonna have like a really long time before it's revealed that she comes back or that she was never dead. And so I was like waiting for that to just be like a thing that we're gonna have to deal with for multiple books, and then she popped up in like book 5. But thank God she popped up at the end. I was like so happy that she pops up out of what, Shadesmar, and Hoyt is there, and I'm just like, yes, because I was, again, so convinced that we were gonna have to wait and sit on that, and I would just be like, she's not dead, she's not dead, she's not dead, for multiple books. And I'm so glad that she's not, because she's one of my favorite characters. I love Shallan a lot in this book, especially, but I think Jasnah is like my favorite character in this series thus far. Like, I just really appreciate that, like, a lot of people talk shit about Brandon Sanderson. You're totally right to do so about some of his, like, opinions and stuff, but I will say that Jasnah is someone that I point to, at least so far, I haven't read the first couple of books, of, like, this man does not let his religiosity impact his characters, because one of the best characters in this is, like, literally, like, an atheist who is trying to disprove everything, like, about the religion with science. And she's great. So yeah, anyway, I love her, and I'm so glad that she's not actually dead. And I hope in the future we get POV chapters from her, because she's great. But what I did really like is, because we didn't really have her, we had Shallan have to step up into who she is and her personality way more, and we got a lot of those Shallan flashbacks. I mentioned in the spoiler-free review that I feel like this is a Shallan book, and I stand by that. We got so many flashbacks to her and her, like, abusive dad, how she summoned a Shardblade as a kid and accidentally killed her mom, super dark, and then had to kill her abusive father with poison, super dark. And it's just like, ooh, Shallan, like, you would have never really known from the first book because she seems so innocent, but like, yeah, I love her. So when it was like, girls are radiant, I loved it. I love that whole thing. Obviously you knew something was going on with her in the first book for it to be revealed, though, that like, yes, radiant, beautiful. And that like Kaladin, Shallan, Adolin love triangle, I'm here for it. I don't always love Brandon Sanderson's like love stories necessarily, but when he doesn't make them the main focus, I think they're really good. And the fact that like they all really care about each other, and like they're all basically gonna be radiants or like something, they're all gonna have some kind of something, right? Because Kaladin's a radiant, she's a radiant, and then Adolin's gonna be something. So it's just kind of like, oh, but they all like care about each other a lot. And so I just really love that. And she like likes both of the men for different reasons. Yeah, I just think it's a very sweet love triangle. And the fact that they're not really going to be in competition with each other because they're like bros. I love that. I do. And Renarin being a radiant as well. Love that. I do love the theme of like the sort of non-violent, nerdy character having powers, and he's sort of like, apparently, I mean, he's like a truthsayer or truthseer or something, like he sees things, so I like has visions too, I would assume. I like that kind of character archetype completely. And then Dalinar and bonding to like the Stormfather. So like essentially, like, I guess, yes, he's a Spren, but like the big god, right? That they all think is like the big god. Go big or go home, my guy. Like, so he's also, sometimes it's unclear about like all of the different layers, but that makes him a radiant too, right? Because he's like bonded to that Spren, whatever. I love that. I love that, and everyone has told me that Oathbringer, the next book, is like Dalinar's book, and I do love Daddy Dalinar a lot. Kaladin going through it with his like crisis of conscience, being like, the king is kind of a bad king, so maybe he should die, but no, that goes against my oaths, and not realizing what oaths he was taking, and then Syl leaving and being like, she's dead, or your ideals are what made her like alive, and then she died, and then she came back because he was like, I know who I am. Very good hero moments, right? And Adolin killing Sadus, we love to see it. Sadus talking so much shit, and being like, you're Dalinar's kid, like, you would never kill Dalinar, whatever. And they'd be like, bet, what if I did kill you, though? Great. I hope that Amaram has, like, a similar undoing. But I'm a little mad at Kaladin for like ruining that whole thing with like, I want to fight Amrit. That whole like him being thrown in jail thing. Even though it solidified their bro situation. Still like, dude, you had one job. But yeah, everything ended up fine. Sadus is dead. And yeah, all the different things that we got with the Parshendi and their like storm form and figuring out more about their backgrounds and stuff and like their society and their culture, super cool. Super creepy because they're like bonded with evil spread now. But yeah, and now we have 2 storms. 2 colliding storms, climate change. So yeah, those are the things I mainly want to talk about. And what I enjoyed the most is a lot of these character arcs were super good. I continue to love them. Again, I would say, oh man, I know a lot of people like love Kaladin the most. I really enjoy him, but again, it's like Shallan, Jasnah, Dalinar are probably like my 3 favorite characters. And then like Hoid/Wit popping in here and there. But I think those are my favorite. I do like Adolin a lot more in this book. I feel like him dropping his little playboy phase a little bit, I enjoy him way more, and him being like really good at fighting, love him. So yeah, I'm excited for the future of this series. I'm hoping to read Oathbringer before the end of the year, but I don't know because these guys are chonky. I don't read the physical copies, but I do the physical copies that are the UK ones that break them into 2 like this. I'm listening to the audiobook and I really like the audiobooks. But yet, will I have the strength to keep reading these? I will not be catching up for the 5th book when it gets released this year, but I will keep reading these, keep chugging along. So comment below, let me know your spoilery thoughts on Words of Radiance. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.